For the last 6 months, I've been reading a book a week and it has completely changed my life, but not exactly in the way that I was expecting. So around the beginning of this year, I realized that I hadn't really read many books over 2022. And I was spending a lot more time on my phone, consuming different media. I just wasn't as motivated. I realized that I was in a little bit of a rut. I wasn't really that motivated with my work. I wasn't super present in my life. My attention span felt like it was getting shorter. Like even just sitting down to watch a movie was like really hard to do without like losing focus and pulling out my phone and like doing different stuff. And then one day while I was in the shower, I had an epiphany. It was like beans from heaven, it just slapped me. Looking back over my life, most of the times when I was happiest was when I was reading a lot. I was really focused on growth, whether that was my physical growth, mental, emotional. I was just really focused on growing. I was obsessed about it, and that led to a lot of positive things in my life. It got me out of depression when I was depressed. It helped me with my career. It helped me with my relationships and understanding people. Most of the really positive times in my life came from when I was reading like all the time. So I decided right then that I was gonna start reading a book a week, and it's changed a lot for me. But honestly, this has been pretty hard. Even though I know that it's something that improves my life, it's something that I wanna do, it's still been hard to kind of be consistent with it. Even when life gets busy, I've got a daughter, I've got work, I've got a bunch of stuff going on. And I think that's why a lot of us stop reading. We stop doing things that we know are good for us because our lives just get busy. So over the past couple months, I've had to create multiple different rules for myself that have allowed me to continue reading a book or more per week without really feeling like it impacts my life all that well. So I wanted to share some of those rules that have really helped me. And if you're looking to start reading more, I think they can help you as well. This row right here is my have read section. And then this is my up on deck section. I'm really excited about this one. I've started to block off 30 minutes every morning to read a physical book. For me, the mornings work best because I can wake up before everybody else. I can set some time aside where there's no distraction. I'll put my phone on the other side of the room. Nobody will be around, and it's just time that I can spend working on myself, getting better, learning some new things that are gonna help me. And if I can't do it in the morning, I will go somewhere where I can be alone, whether that's outside, at a coffee shop, going for a hike, whatever it is. It's just important to set specific time aside that you can read every single day, where there's not distractions, there's not emails, phone calls, text messages, people walking up to you. You need quiet time. You need time by yourself. And I found that morning works best for me because I can think about whatever I'm reading throughout the day. I can be motivated from it, and then I can also like try to take action off something that I learned in the morning and incorporate that into my day, and I learn a lot more that way. And then at night, I shut my phone and all screens off about an hour before bed, and then I can have time again to read fiction at night. And that's been really fun to just use your imagination again, go into a world that's not on a screen. And for me, that's helped me sleep way better. And it's been really fun. I read Harry Potter again and a bunch of other stuff that just kind of makes you feel like a kid again. It's exciting. So that's been really cool as well. Now, before I get into the 2 rules that have really like changed a lot for me, another way that I've been learning is with the sponsor of this video, Shortform. Shortform is one of the best tools that I have ever used to help me learn ideas from nonfiction books. It's like summaries on steroids. It's like your wicked smart best friend is telling you all about this book that you learned, but it's researched, it's referenced with other books. You can read it in like 20 to 40 minutes, or better yet, you can listen to it while you're in the car. There's so many great ways to consume stuff. They have so many great books on here with different categories like business, career and success, entrepreneurship, and my personal favorite, money and finance. So whether it's a book that you've been wanting to read or you've read before and you want to just go back and get some of the highlights, like for me, Atomic Habits was one of the most recent ones I read on here. It's just great to get that little refresher in a really easy to consume way. And Shortform also has a new AI browser extension, which is super useful. It's like the Shortform book guide, but for everything on the internet. You can get detailed summaries of blogs, articles, emails, even YouTube videos in just a single click. To get a 5-day free trial, go to shortform.com/Gabe or check out the link down in the description. I use them all the time, and honestly, it's been a huge value add to my life. I've also started using rewards to kind of make reading more satisfying. This is actually an idea that I learned from Atomic Habits. I've actually done a whole video of different ideas that I learned from that book. But having pleasure from doing something makes us want to repeat it. That's why we like checking our phones, because you get a little dopamine high each time you scroll and you get like a little refreshing. So in order to make reading be something that you want to do, you have to make it pleasurable. So I pretty much always drink coffee as I'm reading. If I stay on track with my goal for reading, I'll go out to a coffee shop that I wouldn't normally go to. Turns out coffee is my main reward for myself. But it makes me happy and I enjoy reading. It makes reading like a cozy thing that is really fun, instead of something that's like hard to do and I have to force myself to sit down. I've also started taking a pen and physically making notes in the books as I'm reading them. I started this because I was doing book reviews, so I was making notes in the book, and then I realized that I learned so much more by highlighting stuff, underlining it, writing it down, because it really like solidified it in my brain somehow. So that would be a huge tip if you're looking to learn more from books. Just like mark them up like crazy and you'll retain a lot more information. I'm actually starting an email newsletter, and in that I'm going to share some things that I'm learning each week from different books. So if you guys want to check that out, it's down below. It's free. I don't know, hopefully it'll be helpful. But when I'm doing that, I'm also looking for what I call the one page. In pretty much every book that I've read that's been good, there is one page that like changes my life in some way. So as I'm going through this book, I'm looking for that one page that will make all the difference. The first one that I remember was like a real estate book where I learned about this idea of house hacking. And that book changed the trajectory of my life. It let me leave my job. It let my brother leave his job. My sister's gotten one now. It's a big reason of why this channel was successful. And it was all from one page of one book. So going for that one page. However, not every book has one page, and there are some books that I have just walked away from, and I think that's an important thing, because sometimes I stick with a book that I'm not overly interested in, and it'll take forever to read that book. So instead, like if I'm not interested in fitness or health right now, but I'm reading a health book, I'll just put the book down and I'll pick up something that I'm interested in that week, and I'll get obsessed about it and I'll blow through the whole thing really fast. And then when I get back into fitness or health again, I'll go back to that book. But just find something that you're interested in and just read all the books about that subject until you get bored with it, and then move on to the next thing. And you are so much more excited. You're having so much more fun reading. You retain all the information so much more when you're actually into it. And then just every few weeks or every few months, it's a new topic, and you're becoming like a little bit of an expert in each of these topics as you obsess about them and you read 5 books on the subject. That's been the best way for me, is not just powering through, but like stopping reading a book that I'm not into, or just putting it down and coming back to it another time. And I know I say read, but I've also listened to a lot of books. Like I read maybe 50-60% of the books, and then the rest I listen to while I'm making food, while I'm going for the walk, while I'm in the car, while I'm at the gym. I'll listen to a different book. So I generally have a fiction, whatever book I'm listening to, and then another book that I read in the morning. So I have 3 books going on at any given time: 1 audio, 1 physical, 1 fiction. And doing that also helps me not be bored and not like pick up my phone and start scrolling TikTok. Instead, I'll just throw on a book and go do whatever I'm doing. So that's been super helpful. I'll also listen to the short form, because those have been really fun, and I like the summary. Sometimes if I'm not reading a full book, I just want the summary. That's been really cool. So yeah, check them out with the link down below. Thank you for watching. I hope you read some more books. So I'll see you next week.